who uses guide people, and it's about once that person comes through the door, whatever they look like, they get a verification from other employers. This is a good person, and it's going to overcome all those potential protection issues.
And back to that sympathetic kind of way of leading people into labour markets, both the employers and the individual. I think that simply runs both ways.
Yeah, sounds like a great idea.
Is that like having a CV that's verified, so as opposed to something you're using as marketing material, but it's backed up?
It's a very organic portfolio, if you like, that's being added to.
Yeah, because then you also know that if you're going ahead for a certain kind of job or a certain kind of skill, what standard you need to aspire to get good results.
Absolutely.
It's like passing an exam. But you need to know what standard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
you can also say, I'm learning to do this, or I'm an expert in this.
And that's one of the challenges, whether or not you can map those standards across organisational boundaries and sectoral boundaries, and whether there's that similarity that gives you that transportability across the...
Well, but this is one of the problems with reputation. Reputation isn't very portable. So if someone's got a really good reputation on eBay, that doesn't port to having a good reputation as an employee. And so when you start looking at online your reputation, you end up with this weird sort of situation where even in something as loose and fluid as blogging, if a games blogger tells me about the Nintendo Wii, I trust them. If they start talking to me about politics, I don't. So their reputation is tightly focused on what you see of their expertise. It may be that they actually are an expert in politics as well, but I haven't seen any proof of that, therefore I'm suspicious of what they're saying.
But that's also where kind of triangulation comes in. And you have your own perception of what people have said, but you're also picking up on what other people are talking, how other people are talking about that individual in different contexts.
So if you look at the eBay example, does eBay really own your reputation? Surely you don't own your reputation.
If you can't take it with you.
Well, I think if we see the emergence of the standards that we're seeing, if we see the micro formats and all these sort of things that we're emerging, and I think when we look at micro formats, reputation is quite a key micro format, but there's a lot of chatter on the networks about this notion of transportability of reputation. I think if you can start to aggregate karma from whatever context, I mean, karma is karma, isn't it? You behave in a certain way, in a certain context.
No, I think it's context dependent.
It is context dependent. I think that there's also the issues around complex reputational systems and simple rating systems.
Yes.
So when you have, rate this person 0 to 10, where 0 is dreadful and 10 is good, that's a system that can be relatively simply gained.
Yes.
Whereas if you have a more complex reputational system, say around blogging, because there's one of the most complex reputational systems we've got, because it is based on being a human being.
Wisdom on the ground.
And what you say and what you present to the world in the same way that you would in a one-to-one conversation, it starts to get much more difficult to define, well, what is the reputation? Why is it that I trust Mick Fealty, whatever he says on Sliver O'Toole about Northern Ireland? It's not really about having met him, it's a lot about the way that what he says fits in with what I'm hearing from other people and people that I trust that say that he's really well informed, and it's a really complex sort of social construct that I'm not saying I think it's complex and it's difficult. I'm not saying it can't be solved.
Yes.
But I think there's a lot more to it than people tend to think of eBay and ranking someone's response, 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, whatever. There's a bit more to it than that.